Top on the brief this morning, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has withdrawn the controversial counter-subversion bill. That's what it's called. The decision follows a public reaction to the bill, which seeks to criminalize subversive activities by organizations, associations, militias, cults, bandits, and other proscribed groups in Nigeria, also imposing prison sentence of those who refuse to recite the national anthem. A statement signed by the Special Advisor to the Speaker on Media, Mr. Musa Keshi, explains that the decision reflects the Speaker's commitment to ensuring that the House remains truly the people's house. The statement reads in part, the Speaker acknowledges the significance of the concerns raised and the attention the bill has garnered, reaffirming that he will never support any action that might disrupt the peace and unity of the nation. As part of efforts to secure the nation and protect our territorial integrity, the Minister of State for Defense, Mr. Bello Matawalle, who says the armed forces of Nigeria requires 200 million rounds of ammunition annually for its operation, costing the federal government at least $2 per ammunition. The minister disclosed this in Abuja at the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Defense through the Defense Industries Corporation, that's the DICON, and the National Agency for Science and Engineering, NASANI, on establishment of ammunition production factory in Nigeria. The minister, who blamed past government for nation's failures to achieve self-sufficiency in the production of military hardware, assures Nigerians that the Defense Industries Corporation will in the next 3 years export its military capabilities through local manufacturing of military hardware. Moving on now, the National Security Advisor, Mr. Nuhu Ribadu, is urging the media to continue to push narratives that criminalizes the activities of extremists in the country. The Special Advisor on Strategic Communication in the office of the NSA, Mr. Zakari Minjiawa, stated this when he represented the NSA at the media engagement hosted by the National Counter-Terrorism Center in the nation's capital, Abuja. He explains that terrorism is decentralized, with ideology spreading across various platforms, and the media plays a key role in reversing the trend. Let's also tell you that the Inspector General of Police and the Office of the National Security Advisor are assuring the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, of adequate security for the conduct of Edo and Ondo state governorship elections. The security chiefs gave the assurances as the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, raised some security concerns ahead of the elections in both states. The NSA is cautioning candidates and their supporters to be peaceful or face the full wrath of the law.
Peaceful campaign often heralds a peaceful election. I urge political parties, candidates, and their supporters to maintain the peace as we approach the election day and beyond. For the security agencies, this is the time to be more vigilant. You should leave no stone unturned in dealing with any real or potential threats to the conduct of peaceful and transparent elections.
Those planning to disrupt the election should not mistake the current administration's commitment to peace for weakness. We will defend the integrity of the polls using every lawful means at our disposal. Law enforcement agencies are on high alert and ready to swiftly and decisively deal with anyone trying to undermine the polls.
Let's also tell you that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission is seeking a special court to try cases of crude oil theft, considering that it currently has hundreds of cases of crude oil theft, which is still investigated. The Director of Investigation at the Commission, Mr. Abdul Karim Chukul, made this known during the investigative hearing of the House of Representatives Special Committee on Crude Oil Theft in Abuja. According to the Commission, in 2019 alone, over 400 cases were charged to court, while in 2022, about 200 cases were charged.
This may sound funny, but it's genuine. You give out crude oil that sustains Nigeria's economy in your own backyard, and yet you sleep in hunger?
Absence of PMS and AGO in the NNPCL floating station has enabled illegal bunkering.
If you want to say that you are going to do any pipeline vandalization around Nembe area because of the road NDDC has provided, you will not go there because the security operatives, both Army, Navy, can get there at any moment's notice.
Do you consider the current legal framework that establishes your organization enough in terms of your operations for you to checkmate the illegal financial transaction that is embedded in the activities of oil theft?
We would love to have an improvement on our legal framework as it currently is. There are cases that, oil theft cases that have gone on for over 10 years, some much longer than that, and then sometimes again, from the Court of First Instance, you see it running to appeal and then Court of Appeal and then to Supreme Court, So this also affects a lot in conclusion of the cases.
Are there any plans to incorporate more advanced surveillance technology and monitoring systems at the EFCC to curb this menace of crude oil theft?
We're dealing with offenders. Definitely we cannot just tell them the solutions or rather the softwares that we're using. But what I want to say is we're deploying technology in dealing with this, both at the intelligence level, at the investigative level, and even at the level of prosecution.
Well, a lot of call there as far as the EFCC is concerned to help us curb oil theft. But let's move on now. 16 people have been confirmed dead and over 3,000 people displaced in 10 local government areas of Jigawa State. That's in northwest Nigeria, following a heavy flood that wreaked havoc across the state. This was disclosed by the Executive Secretary of the State Emergency Management Agency during a press briefing in Duse, the state capital. According to him, over 3,000 homes were affected, while a total of over 2,000 hectares of farmland were washed away by the flood.
The number of households that was involved is 3,936. Then the persons that was displaced, who are in various maybe primary schools, so it's 3,834 persons that were displaced. The number of hectares of the land that was destroyed by the flood is 2,744 hectares. And total death for this period is 16 people died.
So immediately when we got the information, we deployed a team of engineers to go and assess the situation and to see how we prevent public outcry and how we will see and make sure that business activities are not disrupted within the states that links the road.
From Jigawa, let's head to River State, where the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has urged his appointees to refrain from responding either verbally or through actions to the provocation of his political opponents. He said the intention of the opponent is to divert his administration's focus from achieving his set goals. Governor Fubara stated this during the swearing-in of 5 new commissioners and 2 special advisors at the executive chambers of the Government House in Port Harcourt on Wednesday. One of the 5 new commissioners, Dr. Samuel Anya from Abia State, was challenged by the governor to promote unity among residents from various parts of the country.
Finding yourself here is an opportunity for you to defend the government and also ensure that what these millions of people fought for about 11 and a half months ago is not in vain. They stood for something. And today, because of that standing, we're still standing and conducting governance, even in the face of little distraction here and there. Joining our team today is an opportunity for you to add value. We're not bringing you on board to criticize or to abuse, because the only reason why the distractors are intensifying their shot is so that we will miss our target.
Away from Rivers State, the Nigeria Customs Service has announced the modalities for the implementation of the 0% duty rate and value-added tax exemption on selected basic food items. Customs spokesperson Abdullahi Maiwada, in a statement, said the presidential approval was communicated through the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun. According to Maiwada, the policy requires that at least 75% of imported items be sold through recognized commodities exchanges. If a company fails to meet its obligation under the import authorization, it will lose all the waivers and must pay the applicable VAT, levies, and import duties. This penalty also applies if the company exports the imported items in their original or processed form outside of the country. The policy, which takes effect from July the 15th to December the 31st, will cover basic food items like Hawks brown rice, green sorghum, millet, maize, wheat, and beans. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mr. Mohammed Idris, says broadcasters should be torchbearers for the betterment of Nigeria as they hold enormous influence in shaping narrative that affects the politics, culture, and security of the country. The minister, who declared open the first edition of the National Conference of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters in Abuja, sought the partnership of the broadcast media in the quest of unifying and developing the country. It was represented by the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Press Council.
Your platforms have the power to illuminate the positive strides being made in our nation's governance, which will go a long way in reinforcing the public's trust in our democratic process.
This gathering is not just a meeting of minds, but a milestone of our industry, marking our collective journey into the future of broadcasting in Nigeria. We are at a pivotal moment where the dynamics of content production are evolving rapidly, driven by digital revolution, and where our role as broadcasters is being redefined in the context of the political economy. My address this morning, therefore, underscores the importance of adaptability, innovation, and maintaining editorial integrity in the rapidly evolving landscape of digital broadcasting. Broadcasting has always been a powerful tool in shaping public opinion, influencing culture, and driving societal change.
Dedication has shown over time. I mean, the hard work you have put in has brought us all the way to where we are today. You have paid your dues, and the industry has grown. Now we are at the point where we are talking about digital migration, AI, all kinds of innovation coming into the industry.
Let's head now to the international scene, and it's of concern, this one. World Health Organization has declared the Mpox outbreak in parts of Africa a public health emergency of international concern. The highly contagious disease, formerly known as monkeypox, has killed at least 450 people during an initial outbreak in the DRC. It has now spread across parts of the Central and East Africa, and scientists are concerned about how fast the new variant is spreading and the high rate of fatality. The WHO chief, Tedros Ghebreyesus, said the potential for further spread within Africa and beyond is quite worrying. And now to sports. The Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Eno, is calling for comprehensive reforms of the different sporting federations in the country for efficient sports development. The minister indicated the leadership, or indicted the leadership of the Sporting Federation for lackluster outing in the Paris Olympics, emphasizing the need for systems and structures at the federation to get the best athletes to represent Nigeria and get the desired medals at the next games. While speaking on our program Politics Today, he added that the Nigerian Olympic Committee was dead when he assumed office in August 2023, and that none of the sporting federations have well-equipped training centers. Well, those are the stories we've been tracking. That conversation happened barely less than 24 hours ago, which is why we're saying somebody has to fall on their sword. We don't know who but somebody must take responsibility. But